Hey everybody, I'm Seamus.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Rootscan. And we don't have Mumbles today. For reasons that may or may not be related to Mumbles eating people in an alleyway.
She decided she was too cool for us.
Yes, you heard it here first, folks. Mumbles has quit the cast. Mumbles is no longer a cast member.
Stop it,
Will never be showing up again. You guys should all go to the comments and tell us about how terrible that is, and like complain endlessly and mail us death threats. That'd be great. Oh, when I say us, I mean Seamus. Incidentally, I'll be over here.
Yeah, Seamus. This is Seamus's fault somehow. We'll figure out
Seamus,
how and why later.
So now we're going to click the new game button and show off Half-Life 2, which none of you have ever seen before.
Yeah.
This is a relatively new game which should be completely unfamiliar to you.
It's known for it's been hailed by the gaming media for its excellent cover-based mechanics and iron sights features.
Yes.
So seriously, I mean, we've been wanting to do this, but we didn't want to do the whole game. So we thought we would do kind of a one-off block of episodes about this game. Because, at least in my mind, I think this is one of the greatest shooters ever made. And I don't think I'm going to get a lot of argument.
If not the greatest shooter ever made.
Not that I wish to imply.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very fond of this game.
The job. No,
and I think we want to talk a little bit about why it's good and what it does right, because we're always talking about bad storytelling in games, but we don't really ever talk about how to do it properly. And Half-Life 2 is an excellent example of how to tell a good story without telling much story. I mean, Half-Life 2 is not a very rich or complicated storyline. You know, not like something you'd find in The Witcher or something. You know, it's a very simple story with a very select cast of characters, and is actually pretty sparse with the dialogue when you do the math. There's long sections of just gunplay, broken up by sections by character-based segments.
Yeah, something that that Valve does that a lot of people don't do. When telling their stories is that they are very much about letting the player figure out the story as they go, rather than just dumping a whole bunch of exposition on you.
Or beating you over the head with something. In fact, this beginning, having played Homefront, it's interesting. Compare the beginning of this game to the beginning of Homefront. The beginning of Homefront is very similar. You're riding on a bus through the streets, and there's this awful police state, and you see them shooting people in the street, and it's all kind of weird, and it makes you, at least for me, it made me question the setting. And instead, this one hints at how bad it is. This one doesn't actually show anybody executing a citizen right away. And it's a slow reveal as things look slightly messed up, and then more disturbing, and then horrifyingly more disturbing, and then you realize just how deep things go.
Yeah,
I mean, usually the most disturbing part of these parts aren't where you see Metro Cops shoving people or like being hit with stun prods. It's when you hear like the TV saying everything is fine. Things are all fine.
Yeah.
Everything is fine. You're being relocated and this is fine.
One of the most powerful moments for me is coming up.
Yeah, you can see just the beginning of this sort of like the kind of disconnect between what you're hearing and what's happening just by looking around this room. I mean, what is that? There's some kind of slave, I guess, over there. A Vortigaunt slave. The aliens you were actually fighting in Half-Life 1, and now he's sweeping floors. So how did that happen? Well, the game never really tells you, but you can like see this sort of dilapidated train station. This like, well, where does this paradise that this guy up here is talking about?
Oh, and I think we should point out, I think it's very important to establish here, that none of this is explained right away. Like, the last game was, you're in a laboratory, something goes wrong, and aliens start teleporting in, you go to their planet and beat them, and then a guy sticks you in a closet, and then this game starts with you being dragged out and dropped into a dystopia with no understanding of what happened.
Right. This woman gets me every time. She talks about they stopped her train in the wilderness and took her husband. But she says they're being nice about it. They're letting her wait for him. And that was just that twist of the knife at the end where you just want to go, look, lady, you are wasting your time here. I mean, that is such an evocative image. And the fact that they let you get it. She didn't say, oh, they came and they just shot my husband. And my only reason for standing here is so that I can tell you how bad these people are in case you're too stupid to have figured it out. And instead, it lets you use your imagination. It's kind of the difference between the horror movie showing you the monster and showing you the shadow of the monster. This game is so much more powerful because of what they're not showing you.
Yeah, I love this room. This guy talking about not drinking the water because there's something in it to make you forget, and especially this guy.
Yeah, I quote this guy all the time. Like when I'm getting the runaround for something, I'll be like, yeah, and then they sent me the DMV, but they didn't have the papers, so I had to get on the phone with the guy. The trains are always coming, but they never arrive. But they arrive, and then there's nobody on them, but they're always leaving. But then they never arrive.
Welcome.
Yeah, so like just in this first section, the player's gotten this great taste through this environmental storytelling with no exposition at all having been levied at them. The closest thing you could call to exposition is Breen's messages, and he's not talking to you, and he's not really explaining very much.
No, in fact, he's lying. The things he is saying are obvious lies, and through his lies, you've got to figure out what the truth is.
Welcome to City 17.
But I like that showing, not telling. And the other thing is, I mean, the other thing that is mind-blowing about this that we all take for granted now is the ability to just pick stuff up and fiddle with it and toss it.
Yes.
That was a big deal in 2004. It's pretty old hat now, but at the time, just being able to interact with this environment was amazing. Oh, and this has a certain poignancy for us. For anybody who's been through an airport in the United States in the past few years.
Yeah.
Welcome to City
Okay,
17.
now I was confused about direction here. So what happens here is that you go in, the alarm sounds, and they try to drag you away into the creepy-ass detainment area. I wasn't sure if I'd legitimately done something wrong at this point. Like if I'd gone the wrong way and that was being called off. I was like, actually on edge here.
Oh, I love this. The guy closes that little thing. That is such a nice touch.
Yeah, and you don't see the Metro cop beating him to death. You hear him protesting, and then the Metro cop closes the hatch. You're not gonna see what comes next, buddy.
And every other game would just let you look through the half-open door and show them beating some guy, and it would feel ham-fisted. And this is just so much more powerful.
About that beer I owed you.
So here the game tries to solve the issue of having recurring characters when nobody in the first game had a name.
Yeah. The first game you'd meet a guard, and then later you'd meet another guard that looked and sounded exactly like him and had all the same dialogue. So they took those sort of generic carbon copy clones and kind of made each one of them a character. And they said, all right, all those guards you met are all Barney. That's this guy who is younger now. The original Barney, I think, was based on Barney Fife. That's how I took it. From his voice and his mannerisms and his age, I took him to be like a Barney Fife ripoff. And now Barney is much younger and much more able.
Very well.
Yeah, and they connect the two characters, there's sort of the generic guard character and this guy by having him say, so how about that beer I owe you? Because one of the generic things that guards would say is, hey, catch me later and I'll buy you a beer. It's in addition to having the voice actor and the basically similar faces, you make that connection because probably only one guard would have said that to you, for example. So you're like, oh, so that was that guard. Okay, that's cool.
So here's sort of their tutorial for the physics sections, is pile a bunch of boxes up and climb out that window.
You only need one of those boxes, Josh.
Yeah, I wanted to pile
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? We all knew that takes one box. I always break these bottles, smash them up, This is one of those places in the game, like, you haven't had anything breakable until now. You were throwing around takeout containers.
Oh, you
and now
could,
it gives you something
break a
breakable.
few of the beer bottles in there.
Could you?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about before. There weren't beer bottles, were there?
Yeah, there were a few. I was breaking them.
There's some empty 40s in paper bags.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow, these loading screens have shortened since 2004, haven't they?
Yeah, god
Those
damn.
used to be long.
So here comes an interesting thing. I think they actually have metrics for what players do when they do this.
Yeah, they put an achievement for this. You can. He tells you to put the can in the trash can, and you can either throw it at him or put it in. And I want to look up what the breakdown is. How many people throw it at the cop and take the beating, and how many people throw it in the can.
There's the achievement right there. Ah.
Oh, you got.
Oh yeah, I can run really fast by crouch jumping. I forgot about that.
So this is a cool thing. Up on the television, the Breen has actually a new speech, even from the last area.
Yes.
And all these speeches are really interesting. You hear them throughout the game.
Yes.
I actually went to YouTube and I found all the ones I only heard incompletely and watched them all again. But this one is like a very simple one that instantly communicates to you like the horror and gravity of the Combine oppression, of the enormity of the situation. And what he says is, like, the question that somebody's mailed into him is, why is the Combine seen fit to suppress the human reproductive cycle? And
creepy stuff.
This simple fact has far-reaching implications.
Yeah.
And his answer.
Oh yeah,
go ahead.
It also requires planning.
Oh, man. Oh no, I'm just saying that his answer is just really creepy because of all the promises he makes that are involved in that. He's just more creepiness that instead of saying, haha, we won't let you breed until we've broken your will because we're evil aliens from space. No, it's like this creepy, bureaucratic, oppressive, Orwellian thing. Much more creepy than having just evil alien overlords. In fact, the fact that the aliens don't interact with us except through other human beings that are now their agents make them even more insidious.
Yeah, like we see our first alien soon. I mean, like our first overlord. Although we don't actually see him directly, we see him on a video screen. And that's what are you doing, Josh?
I'm stuck.
Are you gonna die?
I don't think you can die here.
Wow,
stop resisting! Stop resisting!
He is really giving you the business, Josh. I think you might want to, like, comply or something.
Yeah, I can't. Alright, here, I need to turn on the dev console.
I guess he really didn't like you throwing that can at him.
Well, we were just saying before we began that these are some of the, like, I don't know that we've ever seen a glitch in this game, and I was trying to think of one, and here's one. So, way to go.
This never happened to me, like the 5 million times I've done this.
I know, but this is
That's
the
the first
spoiler
time that
warning
has ever
way.
happened to me.
We find all the weird flukes. And you're gonna keep doing it. You are such a jackass.
And this is
and
a
then
really
you
great
come out
moment.
here. Coming out here, this blew my mind in 2004. Oh my goodness. Just this big open courtyard. I mean, you did not see this in video game. Think of this.
Yeah.
Contemporary with this is Doom 3. The Dark
No,
Corridor
Doom 3 was like
shooter.
2006, wasn't it?
I thought it was 2004 as well.
Huh.
Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't want to say for sure. But anyway,
A contemporary
yeah,
with this is like
No, Doom.
I was
Doom
gonna say
August 3rd,
Halo.
2004.
Really?
yeah. No, we'd had Deus Ex before this and other games that gave you outdoor areas, but nothing that really felt like it. Like, Deus Ex was always these weird city streets that never had intersections. They were all corners, because you couldn't afford to have too much stuff at once, and to have something that really feels like a real place. Really blew my mind. And seeing the coloring, like, look at those buildings against the sky. That is just some neat stuff. That just, even like today, if I played a game that looked like this, I would not look at it and say, oh, these graphics look stale.
And I mean,
This
it
is
does a
still
good
a-
job of establishing where on the planet you are. I mean, this looks pretty Eastern European in architecture.
Yes.
You got,
Another thing that modern games fail to do is how many of them would have this set in America? This would be New York.
America.
This would be New York because, of course, everybody in the world cares so much about New York.
yeah.
People from New York, we don't care about you any more than you care
Like-
about the rest of us.
Yeah, New
Like,
York
how
is
many
completely
games have we seen
inconsequential.
that have been
I
set
should know.
in New
I live
York?
in California. The important state in the U.S. Yeah, but no, I mean, it wouldn't even really make a whole lot of sense to put your headquarters in New York. I mean, even if you've got colonies there and stuff, wouldn't you
Here's
want
another big
your,
thing, is
your
what the
headquarters
fuck is that?
away from where you're going to have the most civilian unrest?
I do like this. Now we're out in the street and we're seeing a little more oppression. It's real slow.
Yeah.
It just goes up gradually. It's not this sudden thing. It's, okay, the train station was kind of screwed up. And then we come out here in the street and we see people being arrested and we're like, okay, that's bad. And then we head on. And I like the game doesn't, there isn't one of those flashing arrows. Hey, go this way and use the ladder.
Yeah.
This game trusts you to be smart, and you know what? I've never heard of anybody that couldn't
Got a
figure this
corpse
out.
over there.
I think he's just asleep, Josh. I'm sure he's fine.
In
fact, I'll
he
bet you these
spilled some
policemen-
tomato soup and fell asleep.
I'm sure these policemen are checking on him, and they're going to take him
First the
home and
building,
make sure that
then
he
the
gets
whole
home
block.
safe, and he's
These,
alright.
these guys are like my favorite
Don't worry, they'll find
little
one.
nobody NPCs in this whole game. I think these guys just like looking over there and seeing these the metro cops in that building, and they're going, "Man,
Don't
we're
worry, they'll
next."
find
Keep
one.
going.
Yeah.
Just
The
because you
one
don't live
complaint
there,
I have
just
about
because
these, and
don't
you
live
know I'd
there.
had to have some complaint, is that every single male in this game has this same friggin' voice.
Yeah.
No matter what, there's Asians, there's Africans, there's several
And they all
different kinds of
sound
white people.
kind of like John Goodman.
Every one of them. I really wish they'd hired, you know, 2 guys to do the voices or something.
Oh, play on the carousel. Play on the carousel.
Yes, the carousel's awesome. This is another thing that was just amazing in 2004, was this interactive environment. You realize we're like, I mean, if we weren't screwing around, we were only a couple minutes into the game, but we're on like the 2nd level.
Yeah.
And we don't have a gun, and we haven't shot anything, and we haven't been in a fight. Well, we've taken a beating.
Well. Yeah, we haven't
That
been in
wasn't
a fight.
When you slaughter a cow, it
Really?
ain't no fight, Seamus.
Okay, let's keep going. I want to get through some of this game
Oh god.
this week. Our plan
Yeah.
is to just go through the
Ah.
beginning sections in this game this week. Yeah, he doesn't like that, Josh. You might want to give him some room.
He doesn't want any.